A healer, arguably the most important role in a group. You literally hold your party members' lives in your hands. With great power comes great responsibility, and I'm going to give you some tips and knowledge on how to become a professional healer in DragonFlight. The main hurdles you are going to encounter are going to be anxiety, confidence, and knowledge. Anxiety is easy to overcome if you have confidence. Confidence is easily built with knowledge, and knowledge is easily obtained by, well, playing the game. So let's start off with knowledge. Two main ways to increase your knowledge of being a healer. The first way is by being in the game and going through each ability in your spellbook, reading the tooltips, and then casting them on yourself to see what kind of effect they have. Then you take this information and jump into dungeons to put that in practice. The second way is by doing what you're doing right now, consuming and engaging with third-party content, whether it be videos, social media, or other websites that focus on World of Warcraft. Knowledge also consists of your keybinds. Knowing which skills are hotkeyed to which buttons is extremely important. Now, I'm not saying that a traditional clicker cannot be a healer, but it's scientifically proven, and don't ask me for my source, keybinds are faster and people who utilize those perform at a higher level. You will find that the more knowledge you obtain, the higher your confidence will rise. And you need that confidence in order to get over the anxiety of being a healer. So what is the main cause for that anxiety? It is the thought of making a mistake. If you are a DPS, the primary mistakes that you're going to make are either getting hit by a mechanic or missing a proc resulting in less DPS. While it can be a big deal, it's not always recognized by other party members. However, if you're a healer and make a mistake, someone could potentially die. And seeing someone die is very noticeable amongst other players. The only way to get over this anxiety is to be confident in yourself. Understand that you are going to make mistakes and know that mistakes are okay. I mean, even professional players still make mistakes. So how do we build up that confidence? My first and primary suggestion is to create a brand new character and grind dungeons to max level. Leveling really doesn't take a huge amount of time. And if you're queuing as a healer, your queue times are going to be almost instant. The reason for starting from scratch is that at this point you only have a very limited amount of abilities and talent points to worry about. This really gives you the opportunity to learn each ability and to understand the talent tree system as you build it from the ground up. Once you hit about level 30, you should be very comfortable in the healing role. Compare this to taking your current max level character and switching over to a healing spec for the very first time. Your spellbook will be flooded with a ton of new and different abilities. You're having to navigate a completely alien talent tree with a bunch of points. And then you're trying to figure out which abilities need to be hotkeyed where and what spells are best for what kind of situation. Not to mention, you're going to be exposed to a bunch more toxicity. A majority of players believe that if you're at max level, you should kind of know what you're doing. And it's going to be very apparent that you have no idea what you're doing after the first couple pulls, or especially the first boss. That was longer than I thought it was going to be. All right, so let's jump into the real reason why you're here. The tips. Tip number one, add-ons. Personally going to promote HealBot because it's what I use. You're welcome to look around for yourself. Basically anything that allows you to hotkey abilities to your mouse. Some very popular healer add-ons are Voodoo, Click, or Grid. DragonFlight definitely came with some UI improvements, but it's still limited, and to really maximize your healing, you need to invest in an add-on. HealBot allows for a bunch of customization and makes healing pretty effortless. You can organize and customize your party and raid frames appearance. Not to mention, it also shows the active healing buffs on your target and when they expire. This also has mouse keybinds built directly in, so all you have to do is hover over the frame and click in order to cast your spell. The stock video that's actually playing in this video is me utilizing HealBot. Tip number two, don't tunnel vision. It's very easy to just get locked in on those healing bars and not pay attention to anything else that's going on. I mean, the DPS is already ignoring mechanics in order to try to parse, so just be better than them. Don't die to mechanics that could have very easily been avoided had you been paying attention to the screen and not just staring at the bars. While I understand, especially when you first start, that you don't want someone to die, I assure you that if someone dies pretty instantly and you don't have any time to react, that's probably not on you. They screwed something up and probably didn't move when they were supposed to. So throw some shields, hots, healing area effects spells, and then look away from the bar every once in a while. This is something that will get easier the more that you play and gain experience. Number three, ABC. Not the alphabet, it stands for always be casting. And I'm going to split this into 2 different parts. Part 1 is for when you're learning and leveling. Just heal nonstop. It's better to overheal than to underheal. This will not only get you accustomed to your keybinds, but you'll have a better understanding of which spells are better in certain situations and for like how much they heal. Part 2. This is for when you're comfortable. When you're able to easily keep track of your heals and you find that you actually have downtime, you need to start DPSing. This is what actually separates the casuals from the elites. My action bar actually contains my DPS spells. I primarily play Resto Druid as that's what I enjoy. So once my hots are up, I actually start throwing out spells to help speed up the fights. This is also a great confidence booster when you're leveling, because as I was leveling, there was actually plenty of times when I was doing more damage than other DPS members in the group while I was healing. Tip number 4, mana control. Mana is important. And if you run out, you're gonna have a really bad time. The more that you play and the more that you understand the dungeons, the easier this will be. Now, there are outliers here because you can't control every other member that's in the party. For instance, even if you are efficiently healing, you can find yourself burning through a lot of mana if the other players are just ignoring the mechanics. This is somewhat out of your control, but if you're not tunneling your vision, you'll pick up on it right away. Personally, I give players the benefit of the doubt. If they continue playing in that way after they've been called out for it and it results in a wipe or just another player dying who is trying to actively avoid mechanics, I will just stop healing that player. By the way, I'm gonna call you out now. If you've made it this far, please do me a solid and hit the like button. It only takes a second and the algorithm gods appreciate your sacrifice. Tip 5, spell rotation. Unlike the DPS, there really isn't a set in stone ability rotation. You will have certain phases or mechanics that you will prioritize CDs with certain abilities, but overall you are reacting to incoming damage to players. This is most obvious when you're tank healing. Say your tank is stacked with rolling heals, boss has a high damage ability that's getting ready to pop. Prepare yourself, knowing that you're gonna pop this cooldown with this healing ability in order to counter this spike of damage. The boss ability pops, yet your tank gets lucky and blocks all 3 attacks. This completely messes up your normal rotation for that situation. You are primarily a reactive spell caster. Not always, but primarily. All right, I'm gonna throw one bonus tip in here. Practice. You aren't gonna get any better by sitting there not doing it. You need to start jumping into dungeons and putting in the work. We all start from somewhere. We all make mistakes. It happens. Don't let it get the best of you and keep queuing up. It's well worth it once you understand it. So that's some of the basics. I hope this answers some of your questions or concerns. Healing is a very important role and it's extremely satisfying once you're comfortable in it. What are your thoughts on healing? Are you about to start or switch over? What class do you prefer to heal with? If you want to add something, then do so in the comments down below. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them below. I respond to everybody. If you like WoW or MMO content, then hit the subscribe button and check out my channel. I'll see you in the next one.